was just taking calibration frames, walking around, kicked the tripod. Hooray! Keep watching. No. Watch this. This is cool. Ready? I parked the scope. I was just using the ends. Oh, okay, fair enough. Hello, welcome to the Andy of Astro YouTube channel. Today, hopefully, I will be getting out of this cast. It's been 8 weeks. I'm going to the hospital today and I will have this cast removed. You don't realize how debilitating it is to not be able to use your thumb. And it's free! Looking really quite horrible, to be honest. I won't go too close to the palm of my hand. I have washed it, although I think I'm probably going to go and need to wash it again. So I can't move my thumb very much, and I can't bend my wrist very much. It's been immobilized for the better part of 9 weeks. I've got exercises to do and some physio. So we'll see how I get on. I have two hands. This one is the one I broke. Now, yesterday I couldn't move it very much at all. I can move it quite well now, and I can do this. I can just touch that one. Couldn't do that. I could do that yesterday. Couldn't do that. Now I can do that quite easily. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to touch my little finger. So it's going to be a bit of a long road to recovery. I can't drive either because I can't take the handbrake off and I can't change gears. I have no strength. But I'm not going to let this beat me because I've lost 2 months effectively in plaster, and I'm determined to get back to driving and doing stuff as soon as possible. So what am I going to do? I have ordered 2 of these. Backyard Universe CNC Spiders. These are to replace the spiders on my 130 PDS. I've not actually opened these. I've had these for a couple of weeks actually. Oh, that is really nice. Look at that. That is very, very nice indeed. So this is to improve the collimation on a 130 PDS. I have previously 3D printed versions of these, but they introduce some interesting artifacts. They introduce additional diffraction spikes, and it is nice to see the additional diffraction spikes. You know, it's fine, but I really wanted to try and make it even better. Now, I wasn't going to buy the carbon tube as well because it was way too expensive and I just didn't think it was worth it. But these, they're still expensive. They're about £130 each. And I know there are AliExpress versions of these which are cheaper, but I couldn't find the exact one I wanted. So I spend the money, and I want both of my 130 PDSs to have the machined spider. So in this setup, you get a machined spider like that, which is, it's really nice. And it has writing there that says Backyard Universe across the top. And then you have a fittings kit, and not having any strength, I can't. Oh, I can open it. Okay, so let's try and open this. Okay, so I've got a bunch of screws, a huge washer. I'll just open this completely. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so we've got an interesting combination of very long Allen threaded screws there. So basically these are just Allen key ones. I don't think there's anything else in there. So I'm guessing that I probably need some instructions, which luckily enough, it comes with a thing where you've actually got to go and scan some QR codes. So I'm going to go and scan some QR codes. Here is my 130 PDS. I'm going to dismantle the old Spider, which is in there. I've got the new Spider here. The first thing I need to do is to unscrew this plastic part here, and then that just slides off. So I'm just going to rock this so I can get to that screw just down there. Okay, and while I'm here, I'm actually going to undo this. This is actually the bolt which holds the current secondary mirror. Just pull forwards. There we go. Okay, this here is the dew heater, that cable. So when I take out the current Spider and bring it this way, I'll be able to take that off. I'm supporting the secondary mirror because I don't want it to fall down and bash into the base of the telescope tube. So that's the dew heater, which is there, and the secondary mirror and the assembly. So now I have to transfer all of this onto the new Spider. These are Bob's knobs, which I originally purchased thinking, oh yes, I'll buy Bob's knobs. You can buy knurled thumb screws. I'll put on the screen the thread that you need. You don't need Bob's knobs. I didn't know at the time that it was not going to be a weird thread, but Bob's knobs, they are very nice. They are very nice. Nice little plastic top, but you can get knurled thumb screws, which do exactly the same for about 1/8 of the price. Okay, that is the 3D printed Spider, which has served me very well. But time to move on to something new. Here is the new Spider, looking very nice. I'm hopeful that Bob's knobs will fit in here. I have now installed the new Spider. It's got Bob's knobs on there. I've got a dew heater on the secondary as well. It's a really neat installation. It's not difficult to do, and I mean, it's a CNC machine Spider. It's not going to shift. Let's go on a quick tour of the rig. We have an SV Boney guide scope. This is the mini guide scope that they do. They're about £50. They're not particularly expensive. Then we have a ZWO 120mm doing the guiding. So that is the camera for the guiding. This is just clamped on a small dovetail which I added to the 130 PDS. On this side, we have a very nice 26C from Altair. Then on the USB hub, which is just here, looping round into the Pegasus Astro focuser, which is here, and then a USB 3 just here, which is going back to the computer. This is sat on an EQ5 Pro mount, which I've just had serviced and repaired, and it seems to be working quite well, which is great. The power distribution, which is here, this is a Deep Sky DAD power distribution box. It essentially takes a very high power DC in, and then I'm taking a DC out to the dew heaters. That's also for a dew heater there, which is on this particular guide scope. And then the rest of the power, one goes up to the focuser, and the other power, which is just here, goes to the camera. So that is doing all of the power management from this large power supply, which is here. I have also got a DC power there, which is going to power my PC. These Miele PCs are fantastic. They are absolutely perfect for this type of imaging. However, the power is a 12 volt USB-C. So I'm just again taking that power from the Deep Sky DAD box here, and I put it on a lead with 12 volts going into this PC. A USB hub here, which is attached to the computer. That basically has the guide scope going through it, and also it allows me to do file transfer, which is there. This is the camera, and then this is an EQ mod lead, which is doing the mount control. That is the rig. I know it's not pretty. I know the cable management is a joke, but it works and I'm happy about that. I did a bit of imaging last night. The kids helped me lift stuff, which is great because I still can't lift anything, which is to be expected considering I broke my wrist. 130 PDS. It has the new Spider in there as well, the metal CNC machine Spider. I think it looked pretty good. When I process the image, which I'll show you in this video, we'll have a look to see what you thought. Although it is completely cloudy at the moment, apparently it's going to be clear tonight. So I'm going to leave this rigged. Although, as I said before, I've just walked around the rig and I kicked the tripod. I'll have to repolar a line. No big issue, but you know, just be careful when you're walking around your mount that you don't kick it, which is what I just did. Interestingly, I had some issues yesterday with my focuser. And I think this probably needs a video in itself, but the Skywatcher focusers are friction based, which means the center screw there pushes the focus bar against the actual focus tube. That's the bit which gives you the friction. And then there are two counteracting screws to lock it and actually pull it away at the same time. Now, they were not set correctly, and I was finding that because the camera was facing downwards, the focus tube would move out without any problems. When it needed to bring the camera upwards to focus, it just wasn't gripping the focus tube enough to pull the tube upwards. So I did spend a little bit of time tweaking these, and it seemed to resolve the gripping. On a 130 PDS, because you've got such a small diameter tube, it is very difficult to find a focuser which can replace these focusers because of that tube diameter. I quite like these focusers. They're not very good, they're really not, but I quite like them because you can tweak them and they're mostly okay. Like most things from Skywatcher, particularly these cheap budget telescopes, you have to kind of tweak things until they work really well. Last night it worked really well once I tweaked it. But yes, tweaking is the way forwards. When you're assessing the frames you want to keep, you have to be brutal so that you get the best data. Your image can only be as good as the source data. So if that has some poor frames in it, it will never be as good as its true potential. Let's blink through all of these files. Now I know there was a meridian flip, so the image will flip. There were various aircraft and satellites, and also it clouded over. As we go through this data, so I'll quickly scoot through. Now I've already selected the ones which I want, and here is an aircraft that has gone through the data, and then this one here, again some kind of satellite has gone through the data, and then as we whiz through the rest, these all look pretty good so far. Now this one I have deliberately not included because the stars are not a very good shape. So if you look, they are oblong. So if I now go back, so they are obviously not good enough. So I'm going to throw those away. They're just not good enough. So I'm going to get rid of that one. And if I zoom out again, a satellite going through the image, so I don't want to keep that one. And then as I got further through the imaging session, I noticed that the guiding went. So again, this has moved. So it could have been an animal outside, it could have been a cat, or perhaps a fox going near the mount. So it's obviously had a bit of trouble there. And likewise, this one just didn't seem to be good enough as well. So if I zoom in, you can see the stars are oblong. And again, this one is not good as well. So you can see as you blink through, you want to get rid of the ones which are just not good enough. And then eventually we had cloud. So I know that all of the rest of them are rubbish. So I'm not going to keep any of those at all. In the blink tool, once you have selected all the ones you want, those are the ones which are in orange there, you can then use this function to copy them to another folder. So I have just copied them to a new folder called Blinked Lights. So from the 280 exposures I took of 60 seconds, only 115 of them are good enough from Blink's perspective. I'm now going to stack these in Deep Sky Stacker. Of the 115 frames which I inputted to Deep Sky Stacker, it has analysed those and it deems that only 103 of those are good enough to stack, which is fine. It's great. That's why the software is able to analyse the stars and determine which are the best ones to use.